Hi, in this video I want to talk about the magic of our good neighbors, their economy and things they love doing in a day-to-day life. Fairy was believed in many aspects to mirror human society. Brownies undertook housework, farm labor and other domestic chores like sewing, while the trooping fairies and pixies have their own king and a queen, a royal court, dances and hunts. These parallels extended to holding and frequenting fairs and markets. One very common fairy trade was to steal human food products. They would steal milk, granary may be emptied grain by grain. It is said that at the Moonlight Bride they would fish a magical chain from a pool beneath a waterfall. This chain was dragged through the meadows where the cattle grazed, after which all the milk would go to them. They would also leave a stuck in place of a stolen cow. Stealing from market stalls was also a thing that they did. And you couldn't see them unless you applied an anointment on your eyes, but the punishment for that was the loss of sight on the affected eye. But they would also organize their own markets. The fairy folk living on islands of the Pembroke and Carmarthen coast regularly visited the markets at Laughlin and Milford Haven, at which they always paid the exact price and never spoke to the stall holders. If a person is polite and respectful, it was also possible for a human to trade with the fairies at their own markets, but the presence of humans at these markets are very rare. The exchange given in dry leaves became gold and silver at home next day, contrary to the normal nature of fairy gold. More common was to get paid in coins, which turned out to be pieces of horn or leather. In some folk tales we find that fairies have their own independent wealth like gold, silver and cattle, but it is believed that it is stolen from humans, as stealing was consistently reported to be a key element in the elvish economy. They are also known to pay for the items and services. A common practice of fairies is to leave gold in return for water left out by humans. These coins that they would leave are marked with a harp on one side and are of unknown provenance. The good neighbors would lend money to the poor to assist them without interest, but if they would not pay in time, the borrowers would be punished until they paid their debt. To some degree, they are dependent upon humans. I'm not sure if all these things are still happening today because with the rise of technology, it seems that there is less encounters of them. But they would rely on people to provide heated water for bathing, and they would also borrow kitchen gear, leaving food as a recompense in return. And now I want to talk a little about fairy magic. Fairies can shapeshift, so they can change their shape, but with a price. So each time they change their appearance, they would become permanently smaller until reach the size of an ant. They can choose to appear to mortals and disappear whenever they want. Glamour is also used a lot by the good neighbors, and it is the ability to enchant something and make it appear as something else, like an old abandoned home can be enchanted to look like a luxurious place. The forbidden application of an ointment to the eyes can enable a human to dispel glamour. This ointment is always applied by the human midwife attending a fairy birth and is forbidden to anoint herself, or she will lose her sight as punishment. One example is where a person is deceived into believing that they have visited a beautiful house or celebration and enjoyed feasting, drinking and dancing in good company. Then the human would retire to sleep in a beautiful bed, to then wake up in the morning out in the open moor, asleep in a sheepfold or stretched out in the heather or rushes. And that's if they are lucky to not be abducted by the fae. Something else magical about them was the ability to allure with irresistible beauty. It may be in a form of enchantment, giving the fairy power over a weak human. It is also said that their magical abilities has to be granted by their parents, so they are not born having them. What fairies do in a day-to-day life, like for example we humans study, work, we also do like to have fun and so on. Fairies love to dance, and often their music is alluring, making one to wanna join them, but it would be hard to escape these dances once in. The music is found to be soft and sweet and nearly irresistible. They also enjoy feasting as well as riding. To my knowledge, they also like to hunt. They also love to visit human houses, and their most common entertainment is mischief. They especially enjoy making noises in the kitchen with the pots and pans while humans are asleep. I hope you enjoyed this video because I love learning about our good neighbors. Let me know if you ever had any fairy encounter and how it went. If you want to support this channel, you can always check my Etsy shop that is linked in the description down below. If you have any questions or video ideas, please let me know. Subscribe for more witchcraft content and see you in my next one.